sleepwalking Lady Macbeth is observed by a concerned attendant, or gentlewoman, and a doctor. Lady Macbeth appears to be washing imagined blood from her hand. Her actions and confused speech greatly concern the doctor, and he warns the attendant to keep an eye on Lady Macbeth, fearing that she will harm herself.
I have 2 nights' watch with you, but could perceive no truth in your report. When was it last you walked?
Since His Majesty left into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and return to bed, yet all this while in a most vast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature, to receive at once the benefit of sleep, and to do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking in other actual performances, what, at any time, have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you, nor anyone having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo, here she comes. This is her very guise. Upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her. Stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She has light continually. It's her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense is shut.
What is it she does now? Look at how she rubs her hands.
It is accustomed action with her to seem thus, washing her hands. I have known her to continue in this quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Ha! She speaks. I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damn spot, I say. Out! 1, 2, by. 'Tis time to do it. Hell is murky, fie, my lord, fie. A soldier and a feared. What need we fear? Who knows it? When none can call our power to account. Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? Will these hands there be clean? No more, my lord. No more. This starting.
Go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she would not. I'm sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Ah! Ah!
What a sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice, yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep, who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands, put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo was buried. He cannot come out on his grave.
Even so?
To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed.
Will she now go to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their death pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she to divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance. and still keep eyes upon her. So, good night. My mind she has mated, and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
Convinced of his powers, Macbeth mocks the enemy. His scholars have left him fearless. News of Lady Macbeth's death stirs little emotion, only a comment on the emptiness of life. However, when a messenger reports the Birnam Wood seems to be moving towards the castle, Macbeth grows agitated. Fearing that the prophecies have deceived him, he decides to leave the castle to fight and die on battlefield.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle strength will laugh the siege to scorn. Here let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those, should be ours. We might have met them therefore, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that noise?
It's the cry of women, my good lord.
I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been, my senses would have cooled. To hear a night shriek in my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were end. I was supped full of horrors, direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me. Wherefore was that noise?
My lord, the queen is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a ward. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. Creeping this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all of our yesterdays have lighted fools, led the way to dusty death. Out! Out, reef candle! But life's a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Birnam, and anon, methought, the wood began to move. The trees are moving!
Liar! And slave!
Let me endure your brag. If it be not so, within this 3 mile may you see it. Coming, I say, a moving.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive, till famine cling thee. If my speech be soothe, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull a resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Birnam Wood do come to Dunsinane, and now would come toward Dunsinane. Arm! Arm and out! If this witch he avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence or tarrying here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and with the estate of the world we're now undone. Ring the alarm bell, blow, wind, come rack. At least we'll die with the harness on our back.
Macbeth kills young Seward, which restores his belief that he cannot be killed by any man of a woman. Meanwhile, Macduff searches for the hated king. Young Seward's fathers report that Macbeth's soldiers have surrendered and that many have joined them.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What he that was not born of a woman? Such a one am I to fear, or none.
What is thy name?
Thus be afraid to hear it.
No. Though thou callest thyself a higher name than any in hell,
Thy name is Macbeth.
the devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, no more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorrent tyrant. With my sword, I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
That was born of a woman, but swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn. brandished by men that's of a woman born.
That way, the noise, tyrant, show your face! If thou be slain with no strife of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns, whose arms are high to bury their sting.
Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with its unbattered edge, I seethe again undeeded. There thou should be.
This great clatter, one of the greatest notes seemed unbrooded. Let me find him. Fortune, and more I beg not.
This way, my lord, to the castle's gently tyrant. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. Noble things do bravely in the war. The day is almost itself, professes yours. Find little as to do. We have met with those foes that fight beside us. Enter, sir, the castle.
Macduff finally hunts down Macbeth, who is reluctant to fight because he has already killed too many Macduffs. The still proud Macbeth tells his enemy that no man born a woman can defeat him, only to learn that Macduff was ripped from his mother's womb, thus not born naturally. Rather than face humiliation, Macbeth decides to fight to the death. After their fight takes them elsewhere, the Scottish lords now in charge of Macbeth's castle discuss young Siward's noble's death. Macduff returns carrying Macbeth's bloody head, proclaiming final victory and declaring Malcolm King of Scotland. The new king thanks his supporters and promised rewards, while asking for God's help to restore order and harmony.
Why should I play Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whilst I see lies, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound, turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is my sword. Thou blooded villain, then can give thee out.
Thou losest labor, as easy mayst thou the enchant air which thy keen sword impress, as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crest. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Spare thee, charm, and let the angels who still serve thee tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely wrecked.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed that palter with us in the devil's sense, that keep the word of promise to our each.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show, and gaze all the time. We'll have thee, the rare march depending upon a pole, and a direct. And here you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Novel's feet and to be baited with the rival's curse. Through burn of wood be come to dust name, and thou oppose being of no woman born, yet I would try the last. Before my body I throw away my warlike shield, lay on Macduff, and damned be him. The first cries, hold, enough.
I wish the friends we missed were safe to rise. Some must go off, and yet by these I see, so great a day as this is chiefly by. Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
His son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, for which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died.
Then he is dead?
Aye, and brought out the field. The cause of sorrow must not be measured by its worth for them.
Had he used hers before?
Aye, on the front.
Why then, God's soldiers be he?
Had I as many sons, I have heirs. I would not wish them in fair death, and so his knell is bold.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They said they parted well and paid his score, and so God's be with him. There comes newer comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see the compass with the kingdom's pearl that speaks my salutations in their minds. Our voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loved ones, and make us even with you, my thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that even Scots.
In such an honor named, what's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snarls of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel minister of this dead butcher and his friend-like queen, who as 'tis thought by self and violent hands took off her life. This, and what needful else, that calls upon us by the grace of grace, we will perform in measured time and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invited to see us crowned at Scone.
The winner takes all. It's the thrill of one more kill, the last one to fall. Who never sacrifice their will. They'll never look back on the world closing in. Be on the attack with your wings on the wind. Oh, the country within. And it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory. And it's ours for the taking. It's ours for the fight.
This is a sonnet titled My Macbeth. The point of this sonnet is not to recap what happened in Macbeth, but to explain exactly how I feel when I read Macbeth. So, here we go. Could you believe such a tragic story? A man is crazed, his woman a demon. Bloodshed over the falsified glory, Macbeth's dead and able to mate with seamen. Miss dies from society, Sir dies by Macbeth. Believe that you're invincible and die. To think you possess godness is a bluff. To let yourself live is death by a lie. I am shocked by these horrific events. My heart reaches out to this tragedy, wanting to change it with resilience. Maybe things won't end so drastically. The tale of Macbeth makes me feel this way. Who would know Shakespeare could make my mind stray?
This is a very brief overall summary of Act 1. Although we are Act 5, Act 1 is the entire setup for the play. It leads you to believe that the Macbeths are powerful people and cannot be harmed. Act 5 is where all of this comes down, refuting all positivity about the Macbeths. No one could believe that this would happen. In Act 5, Lady Macbeth commits suicide. She couldn't handle herself. She called upon all these demonic spirits to give her strength and perceives herself as strong until she cracks. It's quite ironic that she lets her horrific deeds haunt her so much that she became weak and takes her own life. The rest of the quatrain signifies how the witches set Macbeth up. No man has believed that they were invincible without dying by the loopholes of their prophecy. Macbeth could not be killed by any man born from a woman, but Macbeth was torn from a woman, thus born unnaturally and a likely killer for Macbeth.
This tragedy is teeming with irony. It plays mind games and makes you think. If you allow yourself to fall into the play and let not only your mind, but your heart feel with the play, you will be taken on an emotional roller coaster. Although this is quite self-explanatory, it shall be further elaborated anyway. The tragedy of Macbeth, as stated before, is very ironic and twisted. The story leaves nothing but a conclusion of questions. Is Scotland truly free from tyranny? Do women in real life act like Lady Macbeth, betraying her womanly features and denying her motherly instinct? What if there was another Macbeth somewhere that Shakespeare didn't want us to know about? So many questions, so few answers.
It's going to eat hard.
Why are you guys playing? We're supposed to be we're supposed to be filming.
I still got that on. Don't record this. This is stupid.
Whisper your anger, please.
Smash it. Just like that. Oh damn. You're not gonna close that door, are you? The door.
Don't break the door.
Come on, kids. What are you doing? I need y'all now. What the?
You just started shaking at him.
Come on, kids. You need to take your naps. It's nap time.
I got that.
That cow's my better part of man. This is a very brief overall summary of Act 1. Although we are What the